I just watched a video of a man getting punched in the face in Jacksonville, Florida, and I thought it was really, I thought it was really interesting because I feel like that really summarizes a lot of police interactions in terms of the intensity that officers come at people with. And something that people don't talk about is how often, everyday civilians have to be the bigger man and be the calm one when the officer is supposed to be the professional. Now, at the same time, I'm not really trying to go all liberal, but what I do want to point out is something I noticed is when the cops pulled the guy over, the number one thing is he didn't have a seatbelt on, right? So that's what they said. I don't know if that's true. I didn't see. My thing is that's kind of a hard thing to see. Um, if you've driven without a seatbelt, cops have a hard time seeing that. But, if they say so, fine. But the other thing is they were complaining about the headlights, but it wasn't raining. It was raining, but then it stopped raining, and then they pulled them over. So, and the guy explained that. He's like, yo, like, it's not raining. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the cops, they didn't get that. But because they're so aggressive and they're always on these power trips, they're not always in the right place of mind. You get what I'm saying? So it's like so now the civilian is in a state of trying to explain himself, but the cop is so amped up he isn't listening. You get what I'm saying? And the man, he gets amped up too and slams his door and is like, "Stay the fuck out, get your supervisor," because you obviously don't know what the fuck is going on, and that's not an unreasonable request. If the supervisor isn't busy, if you have a bunch of people all over the city saying, "I need a supervisor," fine. Hey, we can't get you our fucking supervisor. But I think it was a reasonable request. It simply begs the question: if he had his seatbelt on or off, if his seatbelt was off, then that means he shouldn't. I mean, he should have been pulled over and given a ticket. But the cops just. I really feel like the cops really escalated it. I feel like they really escalated it. Like, yo, like they were just like, "You're under arrest." Breaking in his window, and he's requesting for, not the most outrageous things, and it begs the question. I feel like they gave in to his emotions almost. You get what I'm saying? Like they gave in to his emotions. You know what I'm saying? Because he was like amped up a little bit. But, when they punched him in the face, he was so calm. He was so calm. When they punched him in the face, he was so fucking calm. You know what I'm saying? Boom, and he's just like sitting there, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, and so honestly, I do feel like maybe he rage baited them a little bit. I don't even think he rage baited them. I mean, they were so amped up, and it's their fault. You know what I'm saying? And I know it was the officer's fault because when one of his fellow officers came and he approached and talked to the guy, they didn't see eye to eye either. But he was way more composed than his brother and officer. So I don't know. I just felt like making a video about this. It's nice to see a video where a guy just gets punched into the face, and we can have a punch in the face, and we can have a conversation about it as opposed to him getting shot. You get what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, I think that wraps up the video. Like and subscribe, and comment anything you think.